I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? It is a great day, although it is thundering and lightning outside. I am nice and dry inside, and we're talking to Andrew Gagan today from MVP. We're going to be right back. Don't you go anywhere, you recruiters out there. You have got to see this video. Welcome back to the show. Okay, so today we're talking to Andrew Gagan, and I hope I said that right, from MVP Recruiters. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Yaya. I'm thrilled to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so listen. What do you do? Because a lot of people don't understand what a recruiter is and what you do as a recruiter at MVP.
Well, I help my clients find fabulous talent, and it's easier said than done, especially in the current market. We're in a really tight labor market, so recruiters are busier than they've ever been. So I work with Fortune 1000 companies, the typically chief communications officers and their senior team to help them build their communications function. And I also work with the CEOs of some of the leading agencies to help them, build their team so they can deliver fabulous results for their clients. So really anything I kind of have a tight niche. So anything that's in the public relations, corporate communications, or public affairs sphere is where I have expertise and, really can deliver.
That is exciting. I'm not going to lie to you. That is exciting because that just brings up so many different questions. Okay, so people who want to apply for this, a lot of times they are maybe, they're feeling like they're underqualified. What would be something that you would tell them that they wouldn't even realize that they might just be overqualified or just qualified to do this or even apply?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, my advice to people would be really be active in the industry. So there's a lot of different ways you can do that if you're in the PR or communication space. There's, organizations like the Institute for Public Relations or the Public Relations Society of America or International Association of Business Communicators. So lots of different ways. But I think the best way to really build your career is to be active, to get out and be a continuous learner and to build relationships with people in the industry. Because that's where, most of the people get opportunities is from people they know. So really, just stay curious, always try to hone your craft and participate and try to learn and grow. And that's, I think, the best advice I could give.
Awesome. Yeah, okay. So with that said, though, okay, that is really good. I mean, a lot of people are not going to school. They can't afford it. They can't afford college. They can't get back to college. They don't want to get in debt. Debt is a big deal now. So what criteria, what would they do? Would they need a degree? Would they need a bachelor's degree? Would they need to be in a class? I mean, what is it that they can do to actually further and get to that point where they have to join or want to join an organization?
Yeah, so I guess there's different paths, right? So traditionally people would have a bachelor's degree or some higher education, but I think there is some opportunity for people that don't want to take that traditional path, especially in the, as technology has evolved, right? So communications is, the world has got flatter with the internet and all the innovations in digital communications. So I think somebody that really, has a passion for that, like somebody like yourself, even who's so fabulous with video and creating, communities online, that's really a unique skill and a special talent and something that would be valued by, a lot of companies, right? Because everybody wants to build engagement with their stakeholders, whether it be their employees or their customers or who be it. So, so if you're fabulous with Facebook and Instagram or TikTok, and you can show people relevant examples of how you've really been kind of strategic and leverage those tools, I think it could open a lot of doors for you.
We're gonna have to talk after this now, Andrew. We're gonna talk.
Okay.
So, but I mean, you just said it. It's like sometimes the opportunity comes from someone and we just met. We don't know each other, but we know of each other, and that sometimes is just enough. Building that relationship is key, but also being able to show. Should they have a track record? Should they be able to show some kind of a footprint that they already have if they didn't go that traditional route?
Yeah, I think so. And there's a lot of different ways people do that, but people can set up their own websites or have portfolios. just really showcasing some of the exciting work they've done and the way they've helped people or made an impact. And I think that's a good way of illustrating, where you've been successful in the past and an indication of, where you'll thrive in the future. So I wouldn't be shy about, showcasing, some of the fabulous things you've done in the world and sharing that, because there's, somebody out there who will be, excited about it and want to partner with you.
Wow. I know. So you have to brag. Just go ahead and brag and then feel bad about it later. Just go ahead. So,
Yeah.
no, but seriously, it's wonderful what you do. How did you know this was the pigeonhole? Because that's what this is. It's like you've pigeonholed yourself to go down a specific, so tiny. How did you know you were going to do that?
I didn't.
Oh,
I was started my career in IT staffing, so placing, technical people. And I did that very successfully. I was the top vendor in the country to AT&T and some other countries or other companies. And I actually got into the PR and communication space by helping my sister, who's a fabulous talent in that industry, with her recruiting. And I really enjoyed it, and I recognized an opportunity. So I just transitioned my business to PR and communications,
wow.
and decided to focus there. And I love the people. I love the work that they do. It's very interesting, and it's worked out really well. I'm one of the top recruiters in the country for this niche. So God,
That's
thank you.
wonderful. Oh,
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Yeah, no, that's
yeah,
great, man. Congratulations.
yeah,
I have a lot of questions. So this is kind of cool because, I
yeah.
know that, people like me, we don't feel like we need, a lot of us, I don't feel this way, but some people feel like they don't need to have someone else kind of in their business per se. But
Right.
what kind of advantage would they have if they had a career as lustrous as, someone like me or someone bigger? And what kind of advantage would that be for them if they teamed up with you for your clients?
Well, I think it might just help them understand the labor markets a little bit better, might help them understand client expectations. And I'm a big believer in karma. I really
Mhm,
like to help people. And I believe that, when I do that, it always comes back to me, in some positive way.
mhm.
So, it just pays to have, a second set of eyes on things. So having somebody take a look at your resume, having somebody coach you with, if you're searching for a job, what's a good strategy
Mhm.
for going about that, helping people realize what realistic compensation levels are, or what certifications matter with clients and which ones don't. So I'm on the phone all day talking to senior level PR and communications people. So I have a lot of insight into the market, the industry, and there's just a lot of information that I can share with people just to help them um, kind of think through their approach and how they're going to find a fabulous job that'll be really rewarding for them.
Wow. Wow. Now, I know a lot of people are concerned about leaving their homes nowadays, especially with COVID coming right back around and circling all around and then leaving and then coming, and it doesn't know what
Yeah,
it's supposed to do. Okay. It's supposed to stay
yeah,
away, but that's
yeah,
okay. That's okay. So
yeah.
are some of these jobs at home, or do you have to live in the area? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, well, it's very interesting over the last 2 years how the world has changed, right? And
Yeah.
so clients, it used to be, we want local candidates, we want them in the office, and there was a big push for that, right? The importance of being together as a team and building a culture and things. Um, but the world has completely shifted, and and I think some of it's certainly COVID and the pandemic, but I think a
Yeah.
lot of it too was, I think maybe the COVID just kind of accelerated some trends that were already kind of brewing.
Yeah.
So now, clients are very open to remote workers. So, we're working on jobs right now where, we're recruiting nationwide for, companies that, are based in Nashville, Tennessee, or Los Angeles, California, or, in New Jersey. So, if you're curious, I'd lift up your head and look around, because you're no longer restricted geographically. There's a lot of opportunities, and that
Yeah.
every industry is a little bit different. So but there's a lot of remote jobs. There's a lot of hybrid jobs. And it's very rare that somebody needs to be in the office every day anymore. And so that's, it's a new world. And we have a lot of clients who are, like PR agencies who are actually giving up their office space.
Yeah.
Because
No
their
more brick and
employees
mortar,
are,
right?
yeah, because their employees are just, they prefer to work remote. They're happy doing it. And they've proved that, they can be, productive from home.
Even more so,
So,
right? I mean, how
yeah,
is the
so,
production when
yeah,
they do it at home? I mean, literally me being home. I quit my brick and mortar job last year to
yeah,
do this because I was literally paying them to work. This didn't make any
yeah,
sense, At the
yeah,
end of the day, it was like I wasn't getting paid enough to do all the work I was doing and doing more work on top of it. And I was making more money doing this. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
quit.
Something had to give, huh? Yeah,
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So,
yeah,
people are being more productive at home. They're doing more. They're putting in more, and especially for workers and for people who are employees and employers who are actually appreciating them. There's
right.
an appreciation that is not seen when you're at home because you're doing the work. You're taking care of your children. You're cooking. You're cleaning for your husband or your wife,
Yeah,
and you're able to kind of stop and go do this and really focus. And then, you know what I mean? It's better. It's just
yeah,
better.
yeah. And
It's just better.
and it's, and it's a challenge too, because it's a different model, and everybody wants to feel like they belong to something, right? So I mean,
Exactly.
you want to be close to your peers, and you want to feel, passionate about the mission and vision of the business, and, feel like you're part of a tribe, right? And I think that's just kind
Yeah.
of, instinctually how we are. But yeah, so companies are trying to figure out, how do we create that, with this new model, and
Hmm.
and everybody's trying different ideas, and some ideas are great and some aren't so great, but they're kind of doing it collaboratively and having
Yeah.
fun and trying different things, and we'll get there. But yeah,
Definitely get
there
there.
is a lot of nice thing, and I know everybody's dogs are very happy about this. You know,
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My dogs are
yeah,
exuberant. I don't have to leave. I don't have to go anywhere. And I used to
yeah,
travel many, many, many miles to do my job
yeah,
because I was working with the healthcare industry. And so,
yeah.
okay, so now the two questions that I know most people are thinking about right now is
Yeah.
what kind of employer do you work with and what are you looking for in that? And what kind of employee are your employers looking for?
Yeah, so I work with, really kind of Fortune 1000 companies. So they're, more mature companies that have, a solid communications function in place. And they're trying to build their teams to communicate to all these different stakeholders, whether it be their investors, their employees, their suppliers. And so, there's a lot of different roles there, right? So it could be, things around corporate reputation and brand. It could be, things around, influencer engagement with all the social media. It could be, employee engagement and change communications. And then we also work with a lot of agencies who deliver services around PR and communications to their clients, right? And so, they're looking for people that can, come in and do the work and help grow the agency, and help with business development and client delivery and things like that. So
Mhm.
we get a little bit of everything. But the one thing that I feel blessed by is I've been a recruiter a long time, and I really don't have to do a ton of marketing because I've been in this niche for so long, and I'm kind of a people person, so I have a lot of relationships, and so most of the business that we get is through word of mouth or referrals, or it's with people we know. So we really have fabulous clients. We're picky about the jobs we work on, because the jobs that we're reaching out to candidates about, it's kind of our product, right? And so we really want to have great jobs with great companies, with nice people, because we want to make a difference in people's lives, right? I
Mhm.
mean, when you think about how much time you spend at work, it's, they always say, like, that, buy a good mattress and buy a good pair of shoes, right? Because you want to be comfortable. Well, work is the same thing. And so you really want to find a great job, and be passionate about what you're doing, and be proud that, you're delivering fabulous results, right?
Yeah.
And that's really our, you know, the role that we play is kind of like a matchmaker, right? You know, how do we help the person over here who's dying for talent find, you know, the candidate who is yearning to participate in something like that. And it's so you got to be a detective, and there's a lot of work that goes into, you know, making that match and finding the right people. And at the end of the day, I think the key to it is just being very honest and transparent with everybody, right?
Yeah.
And like, is this really a good match or not, right? Yeah, but
Wow.
I love helping people, and it always feels so good when somebody gets a job offer and they accept, and you know, it's like a new chapter in their life, and you feel
Yeah.
like you played a role in that. So very
That's
rewarding.
amazing. Amazing. I tell you, this is kind of like opening my eyes to see that, you know, not only can you develop yourself on the outside of the norm, but you can actually win a really cool job by just asserting what you believe is your principles and what you want to go after. And then find that company like yourself, like MVP, that pigeonholes themselves for that particular thing that you were doing on
Yeah,
the non-traditional way. That is just amazing.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, and you know, the top recruiters in the world all have very specific niches. You know, because I'm part of a group called the Inner Circle, which is it's like this invite only group based out of the UK, and it's kind of, you know, the top recruiters around the world, and it's a lot of fun because I get to talk to people, you know, in Singapore and London and, you know, Moscow and Dubai, and you know, where it's a fun bunch. But they all have a very narrow focus, and they're really experts in a specific niche. And so I would, it would be great for people to have a relationship with recruiters in their space, because
Yeah.
we really can add a lot of value, you know. And you know, I help people all the time who they'll contact me and they say, oh, I saw this job, I love this job, but you know, are you working on that? And I'm not, but I know somebody at the company, so let me see if I can, you know, help facilitate a conversation or get you past the, you know, kind of the you know, the HR, you know, kind of wall, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, and advocate for your success, you know, and
Definitely.
you know, and that always, you know, I mean, we don't make any money doing that, but people remember that we helped them, and it always comes, you know, and then later when they need a recruiter, they hire us, right?
There
Because
you
they're
go.
like, yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a small world. Yeah.
It definitely is. Definitely is. And you're right. You know, okay. So my last job at the healthcare that I was doing, I did that for
Okay.
5 years, but I got hired before HR knew I was hired.
Oh, yeah.
So they
Yeah.
were like, I hear you got hired. How?
Yeah.
How did you get past us? You know, so
Yeah.
literally, you know, it is a wonderful pleasure to be in contact with
Yeah.
someone who's on the inside who can help you. Definitely, definitely. So how can
Yeah.
people reach you? I mean, on both ends, you know, there is just something that you can teach. I would love to have you back to maybe give us, you know, like your 5 top pointers, recruiters,
sure.
your 5 top pointers on people who want to
Yeah.
be recruited and things like that, because I think this is essential. And I think that there's a miscommunication. It's not so much so that people don't want to work, it's that people want to find better work because
Oh,
things
absolutely.
are
Yeah.
just expensive now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it is, I mean, recruiting is broken. And I think the technology has kind of really impacted it, and we're not really have it all figured out yet,
Yeah.
you know. And we were joking, you know, just now about kind of, you know, like HR and the role that they play, right? And so I have a lot of friends in HR and in talent acquisition, and they're really fabulous people, but they're overburdened, you know.
Yeah.
So and what I tell candidates is like a internal recruiter at a big company will be working on, you know, 25 to 30 jobs at the same time. And it's just, I mean, that volume is just not
That's big.
sustainable.
Yeah, it
And
is.
so a
Definitely.
lot of times, you know, you'll apply for a job and the recruiter never looks at you, not because, you know, they're lazy or indifferent. It's just they don't have the time,
Yeah.
you know. And that's why it's important to, you know, just, you know, make sure you're following the HR process, but also making sure at the same time you're getting visibility with the actual hiring team, you know. So
Yeah.
you have to have kind of a dual approach there. Yeah.
Definitely. You got to be on them.
Yeah. No, you gotta, you know, you gotta advocate
Gotta
for your
call in.
success.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got to
No,
call
yeah.
in. Hey, hi, how are you? This is so and so. Yes, I was just checking. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta look for, you gotta be like as if you really are the person for that job and be assertive. And
Yeah.
that's basically what they're looking for too. I mean,
Yeah.
because you can bypass a lot of people by just calling almost every day, like every other day.
Yeah. No, and you know, and you got to find, and there's always like this common thread that's woven between, you know, your experience and passions and what a client's looking for. And
Mhm.
so I think the mistake a lot of candidates make is they don't do enough, you know, research up front when they're going to do a job search. Like you need to have a strategy because you're actually, you know, you're marketing yourself, right?
Right.
So you have to think, you know, you have to really think about it. Like who are the people who would really value my skill set?
Mhm.
And then, you know, identify those people and then, you know, start, you know, messaging them.
Right.
Um, when I say recruiting is broken, like right now, it's so easy to apply for a job. There's all these things like one click apply.
Right.
And so, you know, that's why these internal recruiters are so, you know, buried. Cause I mean, you know, they'll post a job and they'll have 250 resumes
Whew.
the
And none
next
of them are
day.
any good though. Are
Well,
they
it's
any
just,
good?
you know, you can't look through 250
No.
resumes. I mean, it's just, you know, because that's all you would do, you know.
Mhm.
I've done that before and it's mind numbing. It's just,
Uh,
it's difficult. Yeah.
wow.
But no,
Wow.
I'd love to help people, you know, so you know, our website's mvprecruiters.com. And, you know, if somebody, you know, is really, you know, skilled in the PR communications, public affairs world, you know, we'd love to get to know them and see if we can add some value to their life. You know?
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you heard it from the mouth himself. There he is,
Yeah.
Andrew
Yeah.
Gagan. And he's saying, hey, give
Yeah.
him a call, give him a ring, go to the website, check it out for yourself. I mean, you may just be qualified and don't even know it. Okay.
Yeah.
So just do
You
it.
never know. Yeah.
You just don't know. You just don't know. And if you are a company looking for a recruiter to help you guys, you know, here he is, here he is, here
Yeah.
he is.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, I mean, you know, definitely, we're going to have all that information in the description box below so you guys can go ahead and check that out for yourself. Andrew, is there any pointer or anything we've missed today that may be crucial in maybe the person looking for the job or someone looking for someone in their business?
I think, you know, it's, you know, I think there's a lot, you know, I think people are too reliant on LinkedIn. That's one of
Mm,
the things where people have gotten incredibly lazy and everybody, for some reason, it seems to be like the only place people look for jobs or they look for candidates is LinkedIn. And I think that's a big mistake, you know, so I think you really need to be a little more strategic about that and a little more thoughtful. And, you know, you have to be a detective and really think, you know, a little broader, right?
mhm.
And I think there's a lot of benefit into, you know, networking and building relationships. And that's the one thing that I think candidates make a mistake is they don't take enough time building relationships. And then when they need the relationships, they don't have them, you know. So
Exactly.
if you're gainfully employed and happy, you should still be, you know, meeting people for coffee or, you know, going to networking events and, you know, building that network so it's there when you need it, you
Mm.
know. You know.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, Andrew, thank you so
Yeah.
much for being on the show. I appreciate it. I mean, you've
Oh
given
yeah.
us some cool pointers to maybe go back and reevaluate ourselves. You know, a lot of people don't have resumes anymore and they haven't updated it in I don't know how long. So
Yeah.
maybe we need to kind of like look at our skill sets because the last 2.5 years, I am sure you've gained another skill set. Maybe you cook better. Maybe you do videos better. Maybe you've gained on social media better. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
different things that we've done during the last 2.5 years. We need to update our resumes, guys, and look at ourselves for who we are now and not who we were before. I want to
Yeah.
thank you guys so much. Andrew, thank you again. And don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Yaya. Bye.
I dare to be different.